Justin Gaethje becomes two-time interim UFC world champion. He defeats Paddy Pimblett in a dominant decision win. He gets 49-46 across two judges' scorecards and 48-47 on another one. We'll get into these scorecards very shortly, but what an upset. Gaethje was the underdog, Paddy the favorite, and I am completely kind of shocked what I saw, but also not too surprised because the way Paddy had his chin up during that fight is just insane how he just keeps that chin up. I just can't believe how easy he is to hit. And during that fight, all I could think of was Ilia Topuria just sitting there going, my God, I have the most easiest matchups when I come back and defend my belt. But we'll get into what's next for these guys shortly, but we're going to just focus on these UFC 324 fights. Welcome back to Gibbo MMA for the first review of the year, and a great fight card. On paper it was. The delivery of it, it had its down moments, but overall, on paper, it was about an A- as far as a fight card. And then we had two fights get cancelled, pulled out. We had the Michael Johnson, Alex Hernandez fight get pulled out late due to some betting scandal issues, so they had to pull it. But yeah, overall co-main, Sean O'Malley, he gets away with another dodgy decision. Waldo gets a second round knockout over Derek Lewis. Natalia Silva, another, gets a win again. People call that also a robbery. I think Rose Namajunas, people think she won it. Lord Silva goes surfing on Arnold Allen. Boy, did that hurt. Allen, after being out 18 months, was there all the way, just I think volume and his output just kind of lost him this fight because he was right there, but Silva in that third round was just way more active, and you could see the being out for that long and then coming back in against a crazy tough opponent like Lord Silva and what he brings at you. I think he was just maybe a step behind, but active Allen, I think he would have won that. Umar, death taxes, and Umar Nurmagomedov wins via decision. Atiba Gauthier goes 15 minutes for the first time. Good on him. Andre Puliev, hats off to him. Fucking what a tough guy taking that fight. He got every time he got punched, he went flying across the octagon, but doesn't get knocked out. Exceptional body kicks he was doing. Atiba said his elbow did get injured during that fight because he was trying to block those body kicks. So see what happens there. Krylov with the upset. Everyone was thinking Modestas was going to just knock him out. He took some shots and he ate them. So well done to Krylov. Perez with the first round knockout over my boy Charles Johnson. Johnson was never going to quit. Even after the fight was stopped, he was still trying to fight on jelly legs. So good win for Alex Perez. He was, fighting to keep his job for this one. And Josh Hockett, first round win. Good stuff on the mic. Real funny. I loved it. Super hilarious. I love the gimmick. And Ty Miller started off the card with the exceptional first round knockout of Adam Fugit. And yeah, UFC 324 started really well. Got some, we didn't get a decision until the Atiba Gauthier fight. And I believe, making that bonus, every time you get a finish, you get a 25k bonus now. So these guys who are on 10-10, 15-15, if they just finish someone, they're getting another 25k, which is more than their fight purse. So yeah, it was great to see these fighters more incentivized. Umar, he doesn't seem to care. I think he's got enough money. And yeah, and then we had bonuses now from 50 to 100k. So fight of the night went to Paddy and Justin Gaethje. They got 100k each. Performance of the night went to Ty Miller. So he gets another. So he gets 100k. And then it was Josh Hockett. So it was good to see the guys on the who are on less pay getting those performance bonuses for 100k. So they won't get the additional 25k for the finish if they get the performance. Because I think that is going to help a lot of fighters coming into the UFC to help them develop, because it costs a lot of money for these training camps and, trying to be a professional athlete. And if they're only getting 10 and 10, it's just super hard to make a career out of it. So, yeah. Main event. My thoughts about it after sleeping on it was, if Paddy wasn't the favorite in this fight, I don't think it would be as much of a shock the way it went. But because he was a favorite, and just in the way he looked against Michael Chandler in that performance, I had him winning this fight, to be honest. And yeah, that's what kind of shocked everyone when Gaethje went out there in the first round and almost finished him. It was like, wow, it really showed Paddy, hasn't beaten anyone in the top 10. And people saying, I guess everyone's sort of saying, like myself, he had a good path to all the way to this fight. His UFC run has been nicely calculated and not, I wouldn't say difficult, but it wasn't, compared to a lot of other fighters that get to that title shot, have had to fight a lot of top 5, top 10 guys, and he didn't have to. And it really showed when he versed a 37-year-old Justin Gaethje. There's just different levels once you hit that top 5 in the lightweight division. And Justin Gaethje wind back the clock. And all I could think of during this fight was, if this was a 31-year-old prime Justin Gaethje, he finishes Paddy in that first round. No questions about it. Like, you could just see, the wear and tear on Justin. He was being a bit conservative in those finishing sequences. And I reckon he would have finished him in that first round. And I don't know what's going on with, like I said in the preview, with some of these British guys like Paddy and Tom Aspinall, where they have their chin up. They just literally, they just can't tuck their chin or something. And the first thing you learn in boxing, like MMA, in striking, is you freaking have your chin tucked, hide that chin, and look through your eyebrows. You kind of want to be really tucked in, and you want to be looking up through your eyebrows. Whereas, I don't know, Paddy Pimblett during that fight, they're looking through their nose. Like that, he's like up like this, and he's looking through his nose. And I just, at that high level, I just don't know how that hasn't been trained out. I don't know how that habit has, it's just a habit, I guess, in this style. See guys like Alex Pereira, Izzy, they don't have it up, they don't have it directly down, they kind of have it still neutral because they want to see, and they kind of lean back, but it's never like flying up in the air. And Paddy, he like during that whole fight, all I can think of is he's just looking through his nose. And I'm going to read a tweet out from Ilia Topuria, but during this fight, I'm like, Ilia Topuria would have just would take Paddy's head off his shoulders. Here's what Ilia Topuria tweeted out. Little sausage, the only thing you had to do was beat a 38-year-old guy. You just lost the biggest paycheck of your life. You were going to get rich if you won. Justin, all I can say is congratulations. And I'd like to tell you to get ready, but you're screwed no matter what. And that's a fair reaction, as expected. Because that was really, Paddy was really set up to win this and then get that fight with Topuria. But it didn't go that way. And that's what's fun about UFC. It's a constant roller coaster. You think you know, but no one ever really knows. Like, some good upsets on this card. Some good upsets. We had Charles Johnson. He was paying like $1.50. He gets knocked out in the first round. Krillov Modestas. Modestas was a slight favorite, but everyone was like, Modestas is going to knock this guy out in the first round. He got knocked out in the last 3 seconds. And Atiba, $1.10 or so. That went all the way to a decision. Yes, he won unanimously, but it's hard to pick it sometimes, the way things are going to go. And this fight going 5 rounds and barely took place on the ground for this main event. And Dane was saying in the post-fight presser, like, I don't know what Paddy's game plan was. Like, you'd think he'd be looking for that submission, but he just wanted to stand and bang. But this isn't. I think this is the loss Paddy needed, and just losing to Justin Gaethje is, that's not a bad loss on your record. I think he's going to learn a lot, and he's finally been able to gauge where that next level is by fighting Justin. I just think, there's definitely going to be some better strategies in executing a game plan and like not fighting to another guy's strength of Justin's, which is just stand there and brawl over 5 rounds, because that's how Justin Gaethje's made a career of his brawls and been so durable and being able to take shots. And Paddy went into that world and came out not better off, because there's a before and after. And Gaethje, he's got a few marks, a little bit of swelling, but he looks really clean after this fight. Whereas Paddy, straight to the hospital, cut, spattered and bruised. And but again, lightweight division, one of the hardest, if not the hardest divisions in the UFC and of all sports. And this isn't a fraud check for Paddy. I think just, I'm like not being negative, like this is just the way it goes in the fight game. And I hope a speedy recovery for Paddy Pimblett, because he's an entertaining guy. Look at the numbers and the crowd he draws. What a way to launch the new Paramount era. And I want to see this guy back in, because he's an entertaining, funny guy. And even though he didn't win, like, MMA fans, we are forgiving. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is the end of Paddy. I'm like, watch out for his next fight, because he's going to come back better and stronger. I can't wait. This kind of sets him up for a fight with Dan Hooker, because they got beef. Or because Dan Hooker versus BSD we'll be doing the preview for it for UFC 325, Volk Lopez. So Paddy, that easily sets him up for a comeback, bounce back fight to face either the winner of Hooker or BSD, or they just book him and Hooker with that beef they got going on. And obviously it's Justin Gaethje will be fighting Ilia Topuria sometime this year. That's going to be a tough one when that gets booked, because we know Topuria is just so calculated, really fast, and Justin Gaethje is very hittable, and I think that's going to be a round 1 knockout loss for Gaethje. But hey, first ever 2-time interim world champion. He won it against Tony Ferguson back in the COVID era, and then he had to try and unify it against Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he got submitted in I think it was the first or second round, and now he gets the interim belt again, and now he has to try and unify it against the pound for pound number 2 guy, if not 1, in the world, against Ilia Topuria. So Justin Gaethje never got that undisputed before. He's looking to try and go for it again. And that's just the lightweight division. It is so hard to become champion in this division and defend. So that's what makes Islam so great. Now, let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments about that main event. But I'd like to keep talking more, but, we're going to move on to the co-main. And Sean O'Malley gets the decision win over Song Yadong. People are calling, a bit of a robbery. He got rounds 1, 1-3. Let's just get these up. Yeah, 1-3 on all three judges' scorecards. So, yeah, I guess that first round was a bit of a swing round. Could have given either or, but all the judges gave it to Sean. I'm trying to think if Song Yudong, I think he might have got the takedown at the end. But yeah, another time O'Malley's, come away with a controversial decision win, but he's back in the win column, and that kind of sets him up for, the winner of, gets him back in the title picture. If we look at the rankings, I don't think he deserves a title shot because we want to see Morale versus Piotr Jan. But yeah, the fight, 3-round decision, it was a good fight. Not the craziest. These guys need 5 rounds, I believe. 3 rounds is too short. So yeah, you got Umar ranked 2, Morab 1, and O'Malley 3. I think they should just do Umar and O'Malley when he gets the title shot next. I want to see more from these guys. Because, yeah, Song Yudong losing now and Figueiredo losing, that takes him out of the title picture. But, yeah, as far as the fight, yeah, just good stand-up fight. O'Malley got a nice, vicious knee in that 3rd round on Song Yudong. Song Yudong looked like he wore the damage more, bleeding a lot, so that helps Sean O'Malley out for the judges. And I think that's why he won. I'm kind of split. I was leaning towards Song Yudong winning on my scorecards, but I'm not too fussed either or, because I'm still filthy about the way Song Yudong did Henry Cejudo, and Song Yudong got lucky against Henry Cejudo getting that technical decision after taking his eyes out. So yeah. I don't really have too much thoughts about that fight with O'Malley. Just good stand-up. They need 5 rounds. And, yeah, just a good bounce back for O'Malley. Waldo, Cortez Acosta knocks out Derek Lewis in the 2nd round. Yeah, Derek Lewis, it's either he just flatlines someone or he just kind of does a few blitzes, gasses out and goes, I don't want to do this anymore, and then just kind of gets knocked out, and that's the way it went. WCA, just being patient, it was good. He's like, Derek Lewis is going to gas out eventually. He's going to try and give me his best shots, and then I'm just going to catch him when he gets real tired, and he's just going to go down. And it really looked like it was Derek Lewis just lost via cardio. Like, he just gassed out, and Waldo just tapped him on the chin with a check hook with Derek Lewis unbalanced and tired, and then just went down, and he just shelled up and was like, all right, time to get knocked out and get out of there. So yeah, well done to Cortez Acosta. That puts him right up there for a title fight. The heavyweights, just with the Aspinall situations looking all murky, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, great performance by Waldo. I was very confident in him winning. And yeah, it played out because he's just too great movement, moves laterally really well, and Derek Lewis couldn't find a punch, and it was just way too slow. He's got, his feet are in cement when he fights. He did throw some high kicks up there, but he's only got one in him, and he just completely gassed out. And you could see great fight IQ by Waldo and being patient, because people started to boo a little bit, because in that first round, I know Waldo's just like, I just need to wait this out, and then I'll just clean him up. And that's what he did. I could see that's what he was trying to do. So I wasn't like, oh, what is he doing? Get to it. It was like, just let Derek Lewis gas out, and then you can just easily knock him out. So great fight IQ by Waldo and his team on executing that. And yeah, another women's fight going to a decision. Top 5, top 3 flyweights. Natalia Silva gets a controversial decision win herself against Namajunas. And yeah, not an entertaining fight at all. like even with the finish bonus incentive, I don't know what it is with girls, or I don't know, like just if it's a power thing. There's just a lot of hesitation. It was just like a whole lot of nothing, a lot of shadow boxing. Um, for my fantasy team, UFC draft fantasy team, I've got Natalia Silva, I've got Waldo, Charles Johnson, and I thought Rose might have got on the judges' scorecards, but I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, Silva, I think again, like the Sean O'Malley one, first round was a swing round, and then Namajuna's got round 2, and Silva got rounds 1 and 3. I think the first round was a swing round, but they gave it to Silva. So she could be right there for a title shot against Shevchenko next. I know Shevchenko would have been watching like, yeah, I'm just going to do what I did to Zhang Weili, just take her down and dominate her for 5 rounds. So that's why I got Erin Blanchfield as my end of year champ, because she has a ground game. Not a lot of girls have a solid ground game in the flyweight division, and Erin Blanchfield has that. So I'm keen to see when she gets booked next, because Natalia Silva, after that performance, she got the win against a tough opponent in Rose, but a lot of shadow boxing. I don't get what the fear is in there when, like, Rose has knocked out people, but that's down at straw weight. At flyweight, you're a bigger opponent. What's hesitancy? Like, I don't think. What's the worry of getting knocked out in that division? Because people ain't doing it, and they're just I don't know. It's just a lot of hesitation in that women's division, and it's a tough watch. Yeah, people weren't impressed watching that fight. It is what it is, and Jean-Claude Silva, Arnold Allen kicked off the main card. A great, entertaining fight. Good back and forth again. Kind of needed 5 rounds for this one. It was really starting to heat up in that 3rd round towards the end, and then that's it. Lord Silva gets the decision win. I agree. Arnold got the first round. Yeah. Arnold Allen got on 2 judges' scorecards the first round, so 29-28 and 30-27 for Lord Silva. And I think just being out 18 months for Allen, he was just, in that 3rd round, he really needed to come out and put out more volume and more output. But I think, it was just a bit behind the pace, and that's what kind of was the story of that fight. Lord Silva, the more active, aggressive fighter. Allen was throwing some good head kicks a lot, in the first round, and then just kind of went away from it, went back to the boxing. Both durable guys. They both took tough shots. Allen, some good knees in the clinches. Also Silva, good knees to the body in the clinch. And just a good bounce back for Silva coming off that knockout loss to Diego Lopez. Everyone's like, oh, is this too soon? Allen's also a dangerous guy, but Allen hasn't been finishing anyone of late. And I think despite the loss for Allen, I think he'll be happy. I hope he's healthy coming out of there. He's got a fight under his belt. He just needs to be active. And because if that was an active Arnold Allen, I think he can win that by decision. He would have been able to dominate the rounds more. But I think just being out for a while, just the timing and just a bit behind the pace. And I think, you need 5 rounds, to be honest. But good bounce back for Silva. To matchmake for these guys, what's next? I think, Allen versus a guy like Yusuf Zalal. They're both ranked 6 and 7. That'll be good. Or Allen versus Steve Garcia. And then you got Silva ranked 10. So I guess Silva will go straight to rank 6, and Allen will be... I don't know how Brian Ortega's still ranked at featherweight. He's ranked 9. Like, he's fighting at lightweight next. Like Silva, they might chuck him in there against Sterling or Yair Rodriguez, maybe. And then you got Volk Lopez this weekend. But yeah, an all round, good main card. Definitely the Silva Rose fight, and then the O'Malley. That was good. Kind of ebbed and flowed a bit there. And yeah, let me know how the experience was for you, because with the Paramount thing, they kept saying, "Oh, it's no pay-per-view if you have the subscription," but that's only US, guys. It's only, whereas here in Australia, we had to still purchase it, do the pay-per-view we have here on KO, so you could watch the prelims on free to air here, which was awesome. So watching the Charles Johnson to the Umar fight on free to air TV, that's a first. That was a great experience to just put on the TV. I watched the early prelims on Fight Pass. But yeah, there was a lot of ads I heard for the US audience on the Paramount Plus during the walkouts and stuff. Over here on the pay-per-view, we didn't get ads really on the walkouts. It was just same as usual. But if you're not paying pay-per-view, I mean, you can kind of cop the ads, I guess. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on your experience on the Paramount thing. It was a slow card. It took almost 30 minutes to kick off the first fight for the Allen Silva, which was a bit longer than usual, but I think it was just production, just taking their time a bit more, making sure things were right. They did a big unveiling with the Octagon. So I think this weekend the pace will be back to that usual fast pace between fights, because yeah, it was 12 p.m. Usually, they do a 10-minute spiel and then it's the first fight, but it was 30 minutes. And I was like, oh geez, what's going on? Now Umar Figueiredo, what's to say? I will say Figueiredo, he was in there to survive and not lose, and Umar was really trying to like close the gap, but it's hard when it takes two to tango, and Figueiredo wasn't really there fighting back a whole lot. He was just evading. So we'll cut some slack on Umar for that. It's a bit hard when your opponent's really not coming at you, not giving you much, and so he gets the win. Yeah, and it just shows you they spent the second round talking about Sean O'Malley during that fight, which kind of annoyed me. They were just trying to matchmake the whole time on the commentary team. And they were just talking about Sean O'Malley and Song Yudong. They weren't even talking about the fight, which kind of showed you how, not much was doing. And Atiba Gaethje, everyone thought of another first round finish for him, but it goes 15 minutes. Andre Puliev just showed out, tough guy. Well done to him for surviving that. And he was landing some great body kicks too. And people were like, oh, Atiba fraud check because he didn't finish him in the first round. I think I can understand that, but a good experience to get. And Nikita Krylov winding back the clock. Yeah, Modestis doing a lot of loopy punches, not many straight punches. I think he was really looking for that knockout, which I like to see, but a lot of looping punches. Needed to keep it down the pipe. Nikita. Yeah, and then ends up getting the finish in the last 3 seconds of the fight. I think because Modestis was just going for a Hail Mary, and then ends up getting finished. So, Oh, Charles Johnson. He was my dark horse to become a number one contender this year because he's so active. It could still happen, but he gets knocked out in the first round. He got chinned, went down, got back up, and was on ice skates from there. Survived as long as he could. I think good stoppage. I think it was Jason Herzog. Good stoppage. Charles wanted to keep fighting, showed a lot of heart in there, but good win for Perez. Stoked for him. He said he was really fighting for his job. But Charles, You saw Joshua Van get knocked out by Charles and then go on to get the title. So, maybe we'll see Charles do that. Touch wood. We'll see. But yeah, and then Josh Hockett gets the win. I think Denzel Freeman didn't even land a significant strike. And Ty Miller, Adam Fuga, both guys just brawling, and Miller gets the better of it and gets a knockout win. Yeah, so that's UFC 324, guys. It's Australia Day here. It's supposed to be 37 degrees today. It's already like 32, so I'm cooking in here. So we'll wrap it up. We're going to be previewing UFC 325. Comment below your thoughts on the card, guys. What was your fight? I mean, mine was obviously Paddy and Justin, my fight of the night. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. We'll see you in the preview. First UFC card done and dusted. Great event. Well done to Justin. And yeah, wish Paddy a good bounce back as well as Arnold Allen. And yeah, cheers, guys. We'll see you in the preview. Catch you later.